A center midfielder acting like a center back like a fullback, a pivot used to pin the opposition midfielder, occupying nearby half spaces using winger, and the far side half space using the attacking midfielder. The intention is to have players in all key areas of the pitch. Here all three mid options are marked, so they drop a striker into the next free zone. Either he can use the floater to find the dropper, or the pivot can move away to open the passing lane. But here the ball was played back to then progress through the wide areas. This is to just push the opposition back. Now again the ball can be played to the dictator. So two center midfielders are intentionally positioned deep to drag two opposition center protectors high. So the midfielders are manipulated and this automatically creates space behind them. Again the idea is to attack this space with drop pace. So if the opposition push their center back to mark them, then the center midfielder will drift into the wide areas. See how he is asking the fullback to stay high so that he can drop down like a temporary right back. But here the right back dropped, so the center midfielder has to push high to maintain the attacking threat. So if one player drops, the other should move high. The ball is played wide, and now the roles have reversed. A center back is acting like a center midfielder. Just 20 seconds ago, when keeper played the same pass, the center back was wide and the center midfielder was inside. Now center back replaced the center midfielder and the right back is receiving wide. At the same time, defensive midfielder drifted wide to occupy the space left by the center midfielder. The whole idea is to constantly interchange positions to manipulate the opposition. The intended pathways are all closed, so again the ball is recycled to disorganize opposition. Opposition gets triggered and they want to force keeper long. Brighton solves it by using a local 3 vs 2 advantage. Nothing extraordinary, but a regular 3 vs 2 rondo to release pressure. But this will not be possible if the centre back was used in a typical manner. Then it will be an easy press for the opposition. By placing centre back high, like a centre midfielder, they are able to create those local groups. Here the right back's intention is not to run along the flanks, instead he is trained to move inside, as their core intention is to always attack the space between the lines. Now the center midfielder drops to replace him. His marker cannot follow him, as it will leave the space open for the right back. See how each movement is indirectly helping others to become free. When the right back got the ball, multiple runs are oriented to attack the next available loophole. When two runners move forward, the striker drops to become that free man. Again, it's the same idea of using constant movements to manipulate the opposition. Another similar situation with confusing positioning. A simple positional interchange to confuse the midfield protector. They can't progress now, so the ball is played back to the keeper. Again, keeper is used like an outfield player. Now these two players are pinning the opposition pivots, so the other two drops into the half spaces. These movements will destabilize the opposition structure by dragging the center backs out. Now the floater is trained to attack the disrupted structure. Again, this is a perfect example of their movement game. If the actual center midfielder is high, then the floater will drop to act like a connector to find the center back. And when the center back progress, the center midfielder who was high earlier can drop and become the next man. Then they will repeat the same cycle again to establish control. Here center midfielder has again dropped into the back lane. So two midfielders are actually manipulating both center protectors, and the third midfielder can be that free man. If opposition push their center back to close him down, then obviously a new space will be opened there. And when the fullback executes his typical interior run, the center back will be threatened and he will retreat. So the left back's train run plays an indirect role in pushing the center back, and this will result in creating space for the floater. So this is another example of movement creating space. The free man can be accessed using combinations and he can then attack the destabilized backlane. It's again the same player dropping to the vacated central area. The floater is pinning the actual midfield protector. As the play progresses, floater's attacking intention push back the central protector. This indirectly creates another vacated area in the midfield. Now we have another dropping movement to progress the ball. Obviously, the opposition is pushed back and Brighton enters into their middle third phase. The inversion of the right back is to increase the central options. The central options will always distract the central protectors, and thus space around them can be exploited by the same dropping movement. So now Brighton enters their final third phase. The intention is to destabilize the already distorted backline with multiple runs. See how the attacking midfielder is asking the striker to move right so that he can attack another lane. They are attacking different lanes, and the idea is to use runs to engage the defenders. And as a side effect, this will open the far side. This positional discipline and spatial awareness gives them multiple alternatives to attack a retreating backline. And they almost scored from the situation. They even scored a similar goal using this attack. So Brighton's use of constant movements isn't a revolutionary tactic, but the ease at which they are executing it to manipulate the defenses is a real art. And I think many coaches will be tempted to implement a similar system in the next season.